What is going on, everybody? Good morning, good morning. Go ahead and like the video, I'd appreciate it. Hope you guys are all doing well. Good morning, Oki. Good morning, Harold. Akbar, Marco. Ice Aiden, good morning. Lots, Brett, Muhammad. Good morning. Good morning, Harris. Good morning, good morning. Just like the video, as usual. Today, we are giving away a 100K starter account with Myfundedfutures. So, if you guys are here for that, that will be later today in the giveaway at the end of the live stream, just like yesterday. And hopefully today I can be a little bit better with it, because apparently yesterday I typed out the word wrong, so I'm going to make sure that that's correct today. W's in the chat, yeah. To be honest with you, even though we're not looking at the charts, I don't know if I find today very high probability, and I'll explain that. We'll just have to see. Alex, good to see you. Good morning. Is Myfundedfutures only for U.S. residents? No, there is. I would have to look to see exactly the countries that are available, which is a good point. If you are for the giveaway, make sure that you're looking at these prop firms. I mean, it's not just this one, but make sure you're looking at them and making sure that your country is available. Because I would hate to give a count away and then, you know, you guys are not eligible for it. So I'm going to turn it over to the charts. Just let me know if you can see. Let me do this. Okay, that's what I did wrong yesterday, FEG. Thank you. I know you're commenting on it. I saw your message, Islam. I know my bot can be a little touchy. So here's the issue I have with today. It's the issue I've had for the last couple weeks. It's the reason why trading has been difficult, particularly for myself, or just in terms of analyzing. If you look at dollar index, what did we start out with the weekly forecast? Well, I wanted to seek higher prices on dollar index. What does that mean for indexes? That if dollar index is moving higher, we should be looking for lower prices in indexes, which that correlation has not basically be coming to fruition. And it's been a decoupled market, meaning if things are not in sync, they're moving oppositely, then they're supposed to be correlated. And it can make it hard and difficult for myself to read that. For those who don't utilize it, of course, it may not affect you that much. But for somebody like me that analyzes intermarket relationships, utilizes it, it makes it a little bit more difficult to trade NQ, ES, and YM. So today we had a news event driver before the open about an hour ago, and dollar index popped up higher. I would elect to believe that this thing would want to continue to rally higher, but we would have to see. We have some relative equal highs on dollar index here at 104.6 basically. So my idea is price would want to rally towards that, especially on the daily time frame. We came off of this inefficiency here, smaller one underneath it. I don't believe that this would be a top in here. I believe we'd want to climb through this, as I've discussed before. If you look at bonds and yields, look at bonds. Bonds are all dropping off lower. So look at the weekly time frame, even on the 5-year note. We've dropped off lower. Since last week, we've been all dropping off lower. Yields are all pressing off higher. So what does that really mean? I mean, you have a decoupled market, because indexes should be moving off lower, especially with the correlation between, like, all of these agree besides indexes. Dollar index agrees with bonds moving off lower, it agrees with yields moving off higher, but indexes should be moving off lower in a perfect world with correlation, right? which it's not. So it makes it difficult to read it, and it means that something's manipulated, something's being held artificially, or whatever you want to say, it's being held, right? So I don't know. Again, we've made all-time highs again yesterday. I don't know if this thing wants to continue higher. With the idea of a decoupled market, it makes it difficult for me to read this just as in general. I don't know. So if I don't know, it usually means to sit still, because I don't particularly want to long this alongside dollar index rising, alongside yields going higher, and with bonds moving lower. None of that makes any sense. And it hasn't been for the last 2 weeks. So if you guys have been here, you've seen me kind of moving through this analysis that's contradicting itself. So hopefully that makes it clear. I mean, as far as what I'm looking at today, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would prefer this thing to move lower, but I don't see it technically. I think if I just look at NQ and I don't look at the intermarket relationships, I don't see this thing moving off lower. But knowing the intermarket relationships, it should move lower, but it's technically I don't see that. I mean, we have relative equal highs resting above us. We drop down into this inefficiency here that we tagged yesterday. Same thing if we refine it on the 30-minute, 15-minute in here. Drop down into it. So the relative equal highs seem like a good draw on liquidity. I would suspect I would want to get ran if I'm just looking at the draw on liquidity on NQ. That seems the overall bias. I mean, I'm not going to call a top. I'm not going to try to short this either. So there's a few things underway that I'm looking at, right? Let me look at the chat. If you guys can like the video, share it. I'd appreciate it. I only got about 72 likes, so. What do you think about the new trading view update? We lose regular trading hours. I mean, I still have the regular trading hours, so I don't think they're going to take that away. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, I mean, in order to be eligible, you have to like the video, be subscribed to the channel. I'll verify that after. So if you're not, I'm going to find out. And you also make sure you have to be signed up. You have to make an account with Myfundedfutures. I got back with the team yesterday. You have to have an account with them. You have to be registered. That way, if you do win, they'll just link it to your profile. So it'll automatically be in there. You'll just have to give me the email for whatever account you signed up with. But this is the open right now. I wanted to make a note of what was kind of going on overall in the market, what I was viewing. Can we subscribe after winning? I just don't understand why you wouldn't subscribe right now. You know, being an influencer, things don't really affect me, but man, lately this week, there's been some comments that have just been so stupid. I'm sorry, but they've been so stupid. It's actually irritated me. We have this inefficiency here. Not to say that your comment was stupid, but there was somebody yesterday. I drew an analogy to boxing. How, you know, being a boxer, taking a punch, how over time. And somebody commented, "You have no idea about boxing. Don't speak on it." It's like, how would you have any idea if I know anything about boxing? You don't know me. I just had to vent that out. It's just like, why do people feel the need to comment things? It's so strange. So we took out sell side in here, rallied higher above this inefficiency here, would turn into a inversion. But I'm not doing anything to the silver bullet regardless. Alex, man, all you have to do is just be subscribed. I mean, you can like the video too, but I'll do it at the end of the live stream where I will pick a certain word and then I will roll the dice, and whoever ends up winning, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, again, it's social media, so you can't get too hung up on stuff. ICT, yeah. But I mean, I have nice people like all of you who are smart and educated, and I actually would hang out with. So, I mean, there are some good people on the internet. You just have to take the good with the bad. Somebody said this up candle may be taken as a breaker. Again, I'm electing really to do nothing. I mean, even I'm going to let you guys in. ICT, he stated the same thing that I've just stated in our private group. I mean, he's very cautious of this market currently. So if he is, I'm going to be as well. So sell stops are ran there, displacement higher. Not that I'm reading too much into this currently, to be honest with you. Again, you have to be looking at the whole picture of everything. I mean, what A, we're waiting for time, so silver bullet. B, if intermarket relationships are really not agreeing, and I don't know if dollar index is going to continue higher or not. It's gonna be a little bit difficult. I don't really know today's session what it's gonna pan out like. Yeah, I know. I mean, again, I talked about this last night in Daylog. I take trades off stream, so it's like I don't really care. People want to judge me just on what I take on the live stream. I mean, sure, but that's not the full picture either. How many are in? About I think like 2,500. At least that's what the group says. How many people are in there? Good morning. So we have an inefficiency in here on the 4-hour. That said, I mean, the buy side seems like the reasonable thing to look for. 1 minute's a little sloppy in here. This needs to go to the 5-minute. So, right where that 5-minute inefficiency was, we have a 1 minute closed above it, and draw that out to our right here. I mean, look at the bodies respecting it, respecting the C of it, and displacement higher there. Alex Futures. Yeah, I mean, this has been last week most definitely. And the week before that it started to. Man, the first week and 2 weeks of this year were beautiful. I mean, I had my best weeks this year were in the first 2 weeks. I mean, and then to me, it's just been a semi-decoupled market. So it's what I expected for January, and now we're moving out of January, of course, into February. I hope some things clear up, but if you pay attention to intermarket relationships, you understand what I mean when things are just not agreeing, and it's one of the more difficult things to do because really what's telling me to do is either sit still or do nothing. But personally, what I've kind of adjusted to is if those are not agreeing, it's going to stay decoupled, then I'm just going to focus on NQ and the drawn liquidity and what it's providing. So the relative equal highs, the minor buy side liquidity pool would be here. So at 17,866 and then 17,875. Yeah, second week has been perfect. Yeah, most definitely, Tom. FEG possibly. Would you consider entry before silver bullet? No. I mean, the only time you saw yesterday, I mean, like the macro at the end of silver bullet, of course, I would look for that, which I did yesterday, but I won't take a trade unless we're nearing that macro or into silver bullet. Do you consider going back to Forex? No, I mean, Forex is if not way worse than indices right now. At least indices are moving, they're doing something. I mean, Forex is doing nothing. I have nothing against Forex, I love it, but I don't see that even as a better option than this. I mean, if you look at pound, USD, that looks terrible. Euro still looks terrible. So, I mean, with everything going on in the world, yes, Tom. I was really about to say that. Yeah, it literally, I mean, it is. I mean, even last year, if you were trading it, you could see. And I don't like to place blame or anything, but I mean, it is the reality of the world that we live in. I mean, things are at all-time high prices. The world's super inflated. I don't think the economy or the world is in the best place it's ever been in. So it is funny that we're trading this and we're at all-time highs. I mean, does that really make sense to anybody? Like, why why are these at all-time highs? I don't think anybody agrees with that idea. I mean, it's just suspicious. A lot of things are at all-time highs and none of it makes any sense. Groceries, gas, housing. I mean, something. Harris, I know we were just talking about this yesterday, but it's just funny when you look at it. It's like something's up. Something is definitely going to come to an end, or there, you know, the rubber meets the road at one point or another. Forex feels like badminton, yeah. Which, I mean, at one point or another, I mean, things should clear up. But this year is also, you have to think about the elections in the U.S. You have to think about things are going to play out towards September, October, and November when those things come around. It's going to be very wild in here. Yep. Yeah, Abraham. But I mean, that's the reality, right? I mean, what else are we supposed to do? I'm not going to live in the wilderness in a shack. So we have some sell side in here. I think some people, most definitely my younger self, definitely would have took that long in here. But what's protecting me is really time. It's the reason why I wait for the first 30 minutes. It saves me a lot of losses. So if you guys have been here, you understand. Give me that shack life. Yeah, I mean, I would love to just be off in a, not a shack, but away from society and have a peaceful life at one point. If you guys can like the video, for those who are just tuning in, I would really appreciate it. That way we can get it out there. I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that there's not more people for these giveaways. Probably towards the end of it. But I'm just surprised, to be honest with you. What's going on, Kevin? Hope you're doing well. 15-minute. So I would prefer to be going short today, to be honest with you. With what intermarket relationships are doing, I would prefer to be going short overall. That would make logical sense to me. So we'll just have to see. I mean, there's buy side above us that could be left at another point in time. YM, if you go to like a 15-minute chart, printed a higher high, while ES and Q failed to make a higher high. So what is that? That is a bearish S&T divergence. Alongside dollar index gravitating higher, bonds going lower, yields going higher, those type of things would make me stand on the idea of lower prices, right? Today's good and upload. Yeah, I didn't get to it that night. I apologize. Matthias? Thank you. I mean, yeah, that's the whole point. You should just be learning and not concentrating on a giveaway. So it seems like everything's really selling off in here, which is good. I would prefer to do that over looking for higher prices in general. Which prop firm do you use? Myfundedfutures. And keep trying to be get Bitcoin. What is my goal? I have a few goals. I mean, I definitely will be starting a private community at one point. Yes, it will be paid, but I mean, again, I'm out here doing this live for free to show you all that I could do it. So I know it's actually it's died down a lot recently. FEG, I've gotten that question very few times now. I think somebody asked why not Top Step. Well, I have nothing against Top Step personally, but I think if you look at their rules in comparison to Myfundedfutures, I think Myfundedfutures blows them out of the water. Personally, you just have to compare all the prop firms. I mean, if you guys have been looking at the prop firm space in terms of Forex and like that type of, I think it's Funded Engineer. They just kind of got shut down. So they're not shut down, but at least they're in maintenance. I believe that whole space is coming to regulation very shortly here. I'm very curious to see what happens to that space. So my advice is to get your money, build your own live accounts, and do it that way. I mean, they're not bad. I would do a futures prop firm, and I would stick with that because I think those are the least likely to get shut down. I think they're the most regulated compared to any of those Forex prop firms personally. I find those very shady, some of them. Well, you guys saw like FTMO, they don't do US customers anymore. And there's a lot of companies that are, going through regulation or they're getting shut down, so it's interesting. Excuse me, I'm drinking water. Yeah, exactly, ICT8. Is that top? I see your profile picture, that's hilarious. Top G. Exactly. I mean, yeah, I would like to just be inside of a own group that I don't have to deal with trolls or people that don't care. It would be a lot easier. Did you take multiple trades in a session when you started your journey? Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I've done that plenty of times where you look back on the day and you have 15, 20 trades in a day and you're like, what the hell was I doing? The only way that I've found to do that is either through a third party to help you, obviously, not overtrade, or B, you're just setting a certain time window where you're sitting down for 1 hour a day, and then you don't go back to the charts until the session or the day's over. That way you're not tempted to do anything stupid. Top C Trader. It's actually a pretty decent name. Yes, my RSI is telling me it's oversold, so go short. EMAs are not that bad on higher time frames, to be honest with you. If you're a newer student, are struggling to see certain trends. I think EMAs can be decent. Now that we're just talking about it. So SIBI in here, would I be willing to go short in here? Not necessarily, because I see the flip side is we could have just taken sell stops and rallying higher. So to me, it's 50-50 in here. I don't want to do anything. That is what I'm missing my music. So from that dealing range high down to the low. Moving up inside of a premium. But I could see the flip side where we've taken sell stops, rallying higher to attack buy side. So I could make an argument for both sides. I don't really have a clear one-sided. No, Brett. Can you hear the music? Oh, shoot. You can. I think this is not copyright music, though. Yeah, I just turned it off. I didn't know OBS still had it open. How many charts do you have open at the same time? I mean, I have 4 monitors, but 1, 2, 3, 7. So dollar index has had this retracement in the last hour lower, which is interesting. Oh yeah, I got you. That is the music. Welcome for all those who are tuning in. If you could like the video, I'd appreciate it. So dollar index is dropping off lower in here. What did we do on a 15-minute time frame? Well, we retraded into this inefficiency here. Took out sell stops. Displaced higher. This becomes an inversion. So technically this is an inversion right now. It tapped down into it. I'm just weary of going long today, man. I'm weary of doing anything. I mean, this one is 935 candle, because that's a BISI. I'm going to use the SIBI as the inversion. Yeah, I definitely favor buy side over anything, but I want to wait for the silver bullet. I mean, this is what happened yesterday. As I entered in before the silver bullet, 9 o'clock released or 10 o'clock release, and took me out. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna trade inside of this macro, even though I see it. Somebody keeps telling me it's traded into the volume amounts. I mean, yeah, I see it. I actually see this more than anything. I'm just, again, I'm weary of a lot of the things that are surrounding this idea. One is the giveaway travel and trades. I like that name. It's very nice. It will be towards the end of the stream. So about an hour from now, I'd say. I mean, could I be taking a trade in here? Yes. There's just the things that are surrounding it that I just am weary of, like I said. I mean, dollar index is dropping off lower. That is nice to see. But again, this is what happened yesterday. I'd rather wait for the silver bullet. I'd rather wait for that 10 o'clock hour to hit. And if I miss this entry, then it's fine. It's whatever. Well, we do have buy side resting here, above that high and those highs there. So what would that entry pattern really be? That's the 2022 model, right? You're running out south stops and you're displacing higher. If you're shifting above an old SIBI, that's a change in state of delivery, right? Or that's a market structure shift if you want to look it through that lens, if it's easier. And you're shifting above bearish PD raise, and now they're supporting becoming bullish. So that's your 2022 model, and you're targeting buy side liquidity. It's exactly what I was trying to do yesterday, and ultimately I was stopped out. So, I mean, it doesn't mean the model's flawed or it's incorrect, or there's just times where it doesn't work. There's times and days where it really does work. ICT-8, yeah, I'm sitting here, sitting here listening to it. I'm like, I actually feel a lot more focused. It's very, very strange. That's what the music says it does. Could be a, I forgot the word for it. So I'm just going through the higher time frames, kind of just looking at what order flow is doing. More or less waiting for this silver bullet to come out. It's kind of what I learned from yesterday. If the market's really decoupled from what I've seen lately, I shouldn't trade. I journaled this. I shouldn't trade within the macro, because to me that may actually save me from some losses. Because if I didn't trade inside of that macro yesterday, I would have saved myself. But again, there's always pros and cons to whatever rules and disciplines you set out for yourself. Because on one day, this macro could play out and it trades beautifully to my targets and what I wanted. On the other day, it stops me out, and so you just have to take the good with the bad. You can't always avoid losses. But just due to the conditions that we're in terms of intermarket relationships, I would like to be a lot more cautious with time and what I'm selecting. Welcome for all those who are just tuning in. Am I SpongeBob? What? So I'm not fearful even this thing moves higher. I mean, I could still look for something to get into price, but those highs seem like a very easy draw on liquidity. Off the context on the 15-minute, if you look, trade down into this inefficiency, took sell stops, rallied higher, dropped down again, took out sell stops here, rallied higher. YM is nowhere near where the high is on ES and NQ. ICT Aiden, yeah, I've thought about it. I mean, I'll talk about it when the time comes. Looking a little bit seek and destroy-ish. Yeah, it could. I said, I mean, you could have went long off of the inversion to target the buy side here. 17 handles or so. I mean, you could, obviously continue carrying the position on to those highs up here. So what would have that been? Just curious. It's about 25 handles. It's a really small range for NQ. If you ever see things like 10, 20 handle ranges on NQ, that's really, really small. We're in a very, very small range. I know if you're just looking at 1 minute, it may look big, but that's a really small range in terms of points and how far. I mean, 40 handles, and some days that's a 100-point range on NQ. Six Sister ES could be, yeah. It is strange that, again, this is not willing to really rapidly displace higher. Like it should. This should really want to rally towards that buy side quick. Will Conway. I just saw. What? What? Oh, I gotta look at this message. If you are, say hi to Patrick and have fun at the Super Bowl. I swear, some people are master trolls, man. Because that doesn't make any sense. That literally doesn't. I have no idea what you're saying. Do you know how to read PA? If yes, why you miss a lot of A setups? I'm not going to comment on that. What do you think about yesterday's ICT's trade level of confidence? Yeah, I mean, that's, with these concepts and trading in general, there's so many ways to skin a cat. I'm sure he understood order flow on a macro level. Overall narrative was bullish, and he was just looking for that retracement lower. It was a great trade. I mean, personally, it's not what I was looking at. For me, I want to stick with the overall narrative and the order flow. I'm sure some people probably took shorts yesterday too. Honestly, they're cleaner than me for the longs, even though the narrative was super easy. Did ICT message me about joining the stream? No, he hasn't. To be honest with you, I highly doubt he ever ends up joining the stream. To be honest with you. So it's actually this high here. Why am I not doing anything currently? Because I just don't feel, I feel like something is off. I don't know how else to put it. More or less, that's experience and intuition telling me that. I just feel like something is off in terms of intermarket relationships, in terms of the way price is trading. I don't trust anything to hold right now. I don't trust it. To me, it seems like a rattlesnake just shaking its tail at me. I can't put it in any other description or way. It's more or less just intuition. It may sound out there for some people, but that's the way I'm viewing it. This square wig, yeah. Oh, Conway. Makes sense now. Yeah, AK, but then again, I mean, again, we all view the market in our own specific, unique way. To me, we've already taken out sell side, so there's no reason to run back down there again for just relative equal lows. And again, some people took my daily log yesterday like out of context. Like I don't believe that my streams are creating liquidity. I just thought it was an interesting idea, right? I'm not placing blame or anything on just because I'm taking a live stream. The market makers are targeting me. Like, people took that out of just way out of context. I don't know why it's deleting messages, so make sure you're not typing in all caps, because my bot will delete the all cap messages. Again, even if I was in a long in here, I mean, this would be a little bit difficult to sit through. Even though you may not see it on the chart, this chart particularly, specifically, what did we go over at the beginning of the video? Intermarket relationships. And that's what's making me weary of today. Things are not agreeing. Things are completely decoupled. So if you're asking, well, how do I know what a high probability setup is? How do I know when to stay out of the market? Well, if you're only looking at NQ, you're not going to see the variables that are at play. I'm thinking about yields. I'm thinking about bonds. I'm thinking about dollar index when I'm looking at this chart. I'm thinking about that consciously. I'm thinking about, okay, well, the market's decoupled. Bonds are moving lower. Yields are going higher. Dollars moving higher. And NQ is moving higher with it. what is that telling me? It's decoupled. It's manipulated. I can't push a market that's manipulated. And that's the reason why you see things dropping off lower right now. This doesn't make any sense to. It's not that it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't agree. That's the wrong word. It just doesn't agree. So if things were agreeing and the relationships made sense in terms of relationship-wise, then yes, I would be trying to push along right now. But that, again, things that you see me do, not, let's say 75% are not even on the chart that you're looking at. It's something else that I'm referring to. What do you mean decoupled? Decoupled means that they're not in symmetry. They're not in sync with each other. What's the relationships between bonds, yields, dollar index, and indexes? Well, if bonds are moving lower, then indexes should be moving lower. If yields are moving higher, indexes should be moving lower. If the dollar index is moving higher, then indexes should be moving lower. But it's not, right? So there's a crack. There's a decoupled market. The same way if you're using SMT between YM and ES, if they're moving oppositely from each other, that's a decoupled market. That's signaling to you that things may be manipulated. Things are not going to be high probability. It's like a red alert. It's telling you, hey, look at this information. It's telling you something. How did I do in the last 6 months? I mean, November and December, I didn't really trade. January was a positive, good month. October, September, they're good months as well. But I mean, I was trading on some different accounts then, so I can't really show you that track record for those. Yeah, Tim, my Nightbot is a menace. I don't. It's correct, Harold. And if think about the opposite way, if it's moving lower, then indices should be moving higher. But I mean, look at dollar index. The last 2 weeks, I mean, it's moved higher alongside NQ. So that's a decoupled market. Look at bonds and yields. What I went over at the beginning of the live stream, even the weekly forecast. Like I've known this since even Sunday. What's kind of been going on? I can't tell you why it's not. I don't. It means that it's decoupled. So you have to either sit on your hands and do nothing until that starts to move in sync with each other, or you trade inside of these conditions. If they're all moving in the same direction, that's like, oh, that's not good. That's no good, no bueno. Jeremiah, I mean, that's been studying him for 4 years. I mean, end of this year will be 5. Probably took me until 3 years. I mean, I've been trading for 6. So, again, 2 years in this industry is nothing. I don't mean that in a derogatory way. It is nothing. Like, you have to look at trading as if you're going for your bachelor's degree or doctor's degree, whatever. I mean, think about it in a probably 4 to 8 year span is the way I'd look at it. And that's if you're diligently studying and actually really putting in the work for 4 to 8 years. I mean, you could just half-ass shit and it could take you 10 years to get profitable. It could take you 15 years. You could never become profitable. There's no guarantee of that either. So I've talked about that before, using fear of never being successful to motivate you. It should really scare you that this is not guaranteed. You could sit here for the rest of your life and try this and never become successful. That's because you're not correcting your own mistakes. You're not learning from the things that you're doing. You're not working smartly. All you're doing is just trying to press, work hard. But it doesn't work in this industry. Working hard will never get you anywhere in this industry. You have to work very smartly, very consciously of the things that you're doing. In and outside of trading, personal life, everything. It all reflects. Bazoo, yeah, I mean, it can be. Don't get me wrong. I personally, I love music. I mean, don't get me wrong, at one point or another, I will not be publicly teaching. I won't talk to anybody. I'll be off in my own little world, but I don't know, I keep getting called back, I feel like, to teach. I mean, it sounds egotistical, but I think I have a gift for it. And I think I would rather utilize that gift to help others. Justin, no, you're not almost done with it. Don't be lying in my chat. All right. I know you're not done with it. I don't even think you've read the first chapter. See, this is what happens when you have friends who are in real life. I know if you're lying or not. Yeah, I mean, I see it, and I highly, highly recommend it. It's the best book I've ever read in terms of psychology. Sure you are, Justin. Sure. Is there an ebook? I think so. How long have you been profitable? I'd say close to about a year and a half. I mean, I really hit my stride in the end of 2022. I mean, 2023, again, you're going to move in and out of consistent profitability. I mean, you're going to have some really good months. I mean, as a whole concept is consistent profitability, yes. I mean, probably 2 years. But you're going to have some really good months. You're also going to have a month or 2 months out of the year, 3 months, where things are not hitting. They're just, things are not, your model isn't printing. You're not tuned in. You're not, dialed into the market. And you have to understand that. I constantly refer back to this and make you guys understand, like, what does a consistent profitability trader look like? And that's somebody who takes losses and is able to dig themselves out of drawdown, has good risk management, good psychology. You're not going to just have winning weeks, winning days. That's not what consistent profitability looks like. Yeah, I mean, look at the market right now. I don't want to touch this. YM's moving off lower. Dollar index is higher. There's bearish SMT, bullish SMT. To me, that means to do nothing. But if you're not looking at these things, you're only looking at NQ in a 1 minute time frame. You're gonna be like, why is ICT's concepts not working? I don't understand it. It's because your field of vision and scope is so limited. You don't have enough information. You're not reading everything. Bro, do you have friends? No, I don't. I'm all by myself. Nobody likes me. Been working consistently. Good. Good to hear. What is this concept, friends? I thought all you guys are my friends. Rooster. I mean, for now you are, but I mean, who knows, you could end up meeting people in real life from Twitter, YouTube, Discord, whatever. Me, I'd rather see how the PM session plays out, if I'm personally being honest with you. I see, Aiden. I mean, working hard is, to me, you know, you're studying all these videos from ICT. You're waking up every day, you're trading, you're looking at these markets. But the smart thing to do is to obviously, after you apply these concepts and you have a sound model, is you're going back through your journal and you're figuring out the consistent mistakes that you're making. You're going into your psyche and you're figuring out, okay, why am I being triggered to do certain things? That's working smart. You're looking at your risk management plan. You're looking at the things that you can improve upon. Those type of things are smartly working. Working hard is just, you know, watching a bunch of ICT videos, jumping on the charts every day, and you're never looking to refine yourself or your strategy. To me, that's, you know, you're working hard, but it's not efficiently moving through stuff. Because I think working hard can only get you so far. Exactly. And I mean, you probably already know what it means to be smartly working and diligently working. Like, if you know these concepts, you know your model, but yet you continuously keep making mistakes, you can't find consistent profitability, it's because you're not trying to refine the certain weaknesses in yourself and in your strategy. You have to go back and figure that out. Yes, there's a giveaway today. It'll be at the end of the video, or end of the stream, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you can like the video if you're just tuning in. I'd like to believe obviously the buy side want to be ran, but there's just too many variables that I personally, again, everything I say, I just saw somebody earlier, I'm just going to bring it up. You know, I need to broaden my scope and vision of view because there was a 30-second entry. Again, I'm not trading on a 30-second chart, and the things that I say are pertaining to my style and the things that I'm seeing. So if I say something, then don't take it personally. I'm not telling you. I'm just saying, in my opinion, what I'm looking at, it's what I'm viewing. And I'm not dropping down to a 30-second chart. Again, could I have went long in here? Sure. I just don't see the probability to do so. Yeah, I probably missed 10,000 5-second entries, and I could have been extremely profitable. Again, everything's your style. I don't want to be on a 15, 30-second, 5-second chart. I don't think you necessarily need that. And we didn't even get up into that buy side. I mean, this is a very high resistance liquidity run. To be a part of something like this would be a lot of mental capital spent. I mean, look at the range. You have to think in terms of, do I want to go for 20, 30 handles and sit through that? Sure. If that's your style, it's fine. So, I mean, look at YM. YM's still dropping off lower. It's not even close to in sync. I think these days are a lot more valuable that it goes over people's heads. And I'm not saying you. Again, the things I say, I know it may sound like I'm talking directly to you, but I'm just talking just in general. When I stay out of certain conditions like these, for me, it's such a W. It's such a win because I'm not spending a whole bunch of mental capital. I'm not trying to chase these things. I look at Tuesday session. It was such a good session, at least where I deem it personally. But if you're not paying attention to what I'm telling you personally, how to stay out of something like this, then you're never going to gain that experience. How does inversion fair value gap work? Well, if you have a sell side imbalance in here and you close above it, if you close above it, that will now turn into, just think of it as flipping from a sell side imbalance to a buy side imbalance. It's flipping, right? So now you can utilize that as an inversion, and it can support price in order to go higher. So you see how there's no bullish fair value gap on this side, but if you look to the left, you have that SIBI. Turns it into an inversion and expands higher above the buy side. Yeah, 5 handles a 20-point method is great. I think that there's a flip side to it nobody talks about, is you can really overtrade with that style. And I only know that from experience because I've tried to do that style, and it's a good style to find consistency and define, like, okay, I can see how this model works, but you can easily dig yourself a hole very quickly because in your head, you could take a loss week. All right, all I need is 5 handles back. You try to go in again, 10 handle loss. Okay, let me get 5 handles again, 15 handle loss. So it can add up really, really quickly. And if you're just going for 5 to 5, risk to reward, unless you have a high win rate, you're going to dig yourself a hole very quickly. That's the way I viewed it. But if you go to risking 5 handles for 10, at least you're going for a little bit more. You could take a couple losses and still be fine. Yeah, exactly, Rista. I mean, again, that's the internet, man. People are going to say whatever they want to say. I personally don't care. I know my style. I know what I'm looking for, man. I know what conditions to stay out of. This is worth to me more than any entry pattern. Being able to recognize a condition I should not trade in. And that's me saying this again. Some people are going to be like, man, this condition is great. I love it. Cool. For me, I don't want to trade in this. It's not something I would advise my own students to do. So, well, AK, he's definitely putting some stuff in the books that he's never mentioned in public. So, I'll be buying the books just because I love the man. He's changed my life. So, I've already given him money, but I'll give him more money. How it felt when you grasp it. I mean, there was never like a moment I was like, man, I finally understand it all. I mean, currently where I sit, I mean, it's an amazing feeling. But I think no matter what with trading, I think even very consistent profitability people, there's still like a fear and a doubt at one point or another. Even if you had an amazing year, you'll go into the next year and be like, all right, was that luck? Obviously, logically, it wasn't luck because you followed everything. But emotionally, your emotions, if you start taking losses and you go into a drawdown, doubt and fear will come into your mind. No human can escape emotions, so those type of emotions will come into play, and you'll be like, man, was that really luck? Can I really do this again? I mean, I've had the same fear and doubt. When you go into drawdown, those type of emotions will come up. Fear and doubt and anxiety will come in. And you'll be like, was that really me, or was that just luck? Did I just get lucky on those last couple months? But again, your system's going to dish you different probabilities, different variables over time. And you're going to have some really good months, and you're also going to have some months where things are not in play. And during those months, you have to keep your composure. You have to understand that, keep telling yourself, this is just part of the model. The only way you're going to learn that really is getting out of drawdown. And most people like myself, even with 3 evaluations, if you go into drawdown, the easier thing is just to blow the account and reset it because you don't want to dig yourself out of drawdown. But the only way you're really going to do that is through a live account. I'll buy the book and resell it. Yeah, I see. I mean, if he has new stuff in there that I can apply, I don't see the reason why not to. I think there's so much stuff out there he's not taught that I could still learn. Do I have everything I need to be profitable? Yes, but I mean, if I can sharpen myself and my strategy by any way, I'm going to. Imposter syndrome? Yeah, I mean that's probably what I'm trying to refer to. I've definitely felt that, most definitely. I actually really I've heard of that word or term before, but now it kind of clicked. Yeah, like I think that's very true. How much did it cost for a charter? I mean, in whole, it was like $2,000 for a whole year, something like that. 2200. Wish you could give away 10x 10k accounts. I mean, on a futures account, I don't even think they don't have 10k accounts. And I think the drawdown would be like $100, so it wouldn't really be worth anything. Best advice I've heard: if we know when not to trade, you inherently will know when to trade. Exactly, yeah. Like, how did I know today going into it I didn't want to trade in these conditions? NQ really didn't tell me that, but intermarket relationships told me not to do that, not to press today. My problem is when I try to blow the bout, I end up winning. Well, I guess that's a decent thing. I mean, if you're losing consistently, if you have a trade idea, just do the opposite. I'm kidding. But at one point in time, when I was trading, I kept losing it. I was like, you know what? If I have a trade idea and I think it's long, I'm just gonna go short. I was just so fed up. I'm like, you know what, man? Any trade idea I have, I'm just gonna do the opposite because obviously it just keeps losing. So we dropped lower in here. Dollar index is not super clearly one-sided, but if that thing starts to move higher rapidly, I mean, we have. Let me just bring it over. So look at the highs in here. What do we have on ES or YM? I'm sorry. A higher high there, lower high here, lower high here. Look at where YM's trading once it loads. YM's really trading off lower. So that was decoupled on that run up on IQ. It was decoupled away from these two. So I would I don't know. I'll have to see with more information if this thing wants to trade off lower. Target your own stop loss, yeah. Lord of Trades, hi bro, every day hasn't been a trading day the last week. Yeah, I mean, most definitely that's what I try to teach. I mean, not every day is a trading day. You can't consistently just keep pushing everything all the time. I mean, here, again, this is just, if something happens out of, to me personally, when I'm viewing it, if it happens out of the unordinary, like I really wasn't anticipating, like this run here, to me makes no sense, and that's me personally viewing it. Some of you it may make sense, but to me it seems pretty manipulated in here. I mean, we did drop down in this inefficiency here, the inversion, bullish order block there. But again, there's too many variables at play that I'm looking at that just are not aligning. Little Conway. Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, there's nothing to really talk about. I mean, I'm just sitting here. How to participate in the giveaway. I will talk about all the criteria to do so. I mean, really all I have to do is be subscribed, and whatever word I come up with, you just have to put it in the chat. Looks like there's a lot less viewers today, so not a lot less, but less viewers, so hopefully one of you guys who are consistently in here wins it. I would rather want that than some random person. Nico, yeah, I mean, in terms of what he's taught, that's not the silver bullet, but it's ICT, man. He can do whatever he wants. I'm not going to criticize him. So look at YM. YM's trading off lower, and Q's trading higher. ES is kind of in the middle of the range. Do I consider trading RTY? Not sure what that means. I don't know if you meant RTH, which I haven't looked at today. So, nothing really significant in there. Not with the upbeat again. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I mean, I would recommend just signing up real quick with them. That way, you're already set for it. RT by the Russell. Oh, no, I don't want to trade that. Only thing I would trade is ES. The only other one. Small caps, yeah, I don't do that. To be honest, I don't have much experience or knowledge in it, so. 6:36 my time. You guys are waking up. Where are you at? What location? You're gonna be like halfway across the world. New here. Good to see you in here. I love seeing new names. How old are you? How old am I? I'm 24. I'll be 25 this year. It's crazy to think about. So I mean, look at YM. Constantly, I know it's not on the screen, but it's on my different monitor. It's about to make a new lower low in here. So would I want to push longs in here just because there's buy side above us? Nope. I know my older self, a condition like this, I would have been so happy to find somebody telling me to stay out of this market. I'm not just saying that because it's me and I'm doing the live stream, but I mean, seriously, man, I mean, if you're not taking notes on what I've said throughout this entire stream and how to stay out of condition like this, you're missing the point. You're missing how to be profitable, is staying out of conditions like this. Until something becomes crystal clear to you, you're not touching it. How did I know this? Intermarket relationships, looking at the relationships between indices, yields, bonds, dollar index, those type of things. Time of week, where you're trading on the higher time frame. These type of things were telling me to sit still, don't do anything, don't push it. All before this unfolded. But most people, they just want the easy cookie cutter approach. How do I get into the market? How do I make money? How do I get a high win rate? They don't care about how to stay out of shitty market conditions like this. To me, I value this so much more than some model that's going to win me 90% of the time, because that obviously doesn't exist. Your 90% win rate model is going to get cooked in these conditions. You double my age. Yeah, I mean, I have plenty. I know plenty of people who are double my age who are still trading and trying to become consistently profitable. I don't think trading has an age to. I don't think it makes any sort of difference. I just know that at my age, I definitely took advantage of finding this out when I was 18 to my advantage because I knew I didn't have a lot to lose. I didn't have obviously a family. I didn't have a career. I didn't have all these things that some people, when they get into trading, they have to lose. So I've had nothing to lose throughout my entire career to basically become profitable inside of this. So that's the one advantage. And having youth and having the energy, I've been very conscious of that. That during these young years, I wanted to use all my energy to become the best I could, because I know at a later point I may not have the energy. I may have other things to lose, like a family and career and a house. So those type of things, being young to me it's obviously as an advantage. Cody, I just answered that. 24. I see it. I mean, yeah, that's not the point. Like, yes, I have a very loving family. I have a very good support system, but not like a wife and kids and stuff. Okay. Okay. Don't answer that. I mean, if you're gonna troll, I'm not answering that, man. I mean, look at YM. If I'm just gonna bring it up on screen. So, but if you're trading NQ, you're trading ES, or you're trading YM, you want them to be moving in sync with each other. This is what the coupled looks like. This is what's telling me, hey, stupid, don't be trading price until things become clear. Look at where NQ is trading compared to ES and compared to YM. Until this thing starts to move in sync and it's in correlation, it's in sync with these two other ones, then I'm not touching it. So ES is really trading off heavily lower. I want to see if does NQ want to move into sync with it. How did I discover trading and how old? I was 18 in college. I discovered it through a multi-level marketing company, which is aka a pyramid scheme. Good here, Luca. I could most definitely see how you could torch an entire account in this one session because you're trying to just do anything. You're just wiggling and weaseling your way through this. You're just trying your absolute best to do anything you possibly can. You're trying to short it. I'm not talking directly to you. I'm trying to consciously make that. I'm just saying this in general to myself. I know my old self would be trying to do anything inside of this. And now through years of experience, I've learned, okay, just sit still. Don't do anything. And I hope you guys are learning that. I hope you guys see that because this lesson is so valuable. It may not be exciting. It's extremely boring, but it's what keeps you consistently profitable. It's what keeps you in the game. It keeps you alive. The whole point of being in trading is to just keep yourself alive enough until your model and the conditions are right to where you can capitalize on it. If you can stay out of the shitty conditions, if you can stop yourself from doing stupid things, then you can flourish in the good times, in the good moving markets. I mean, it's something that ICT is preaching about. I try to really preach it to you guys as well, even myself. I mean, I can't express it enough, man. I can't. Some people have their different opinions. They think that this is a great market condition. That's fine. You can have that opinion. For me, I don't think it is. So I'm going to teach the way I personally believe the market, the way I view it. I don't think this is a good condition to be participating in. And I'm not going to tell people watching me to do so. I get there's mental capital and then there's real capital. You could burn both in one day. You could burn both in 1 week. I mean, I talk about this a lot. I've spent 2 mental capital tokens this week on 2 trades so far on live stream. So to me, I'm not trying to spend another mental capital token in a condition that is not favorable. I don't know. It could go both sides. My system and the things that I know, experience is telling me to sit still and not do anything. So I'm not just going to burn these mental capital tokens just to gamble. Learn about trading when I was. Yeah, and I think that's beautiful. When I started, man, ICT was not out here for free. There wasn't that. It was limited information. There was a lot of scammers. I mean, he's cleared up not only obviously for free, but he's cleared up the entire space of trading, and that's why a lot of people hate him. A lot of people spread hate because he's stealing a lot of mentorship money from people. Because if he didn't do this publicly, nobody would have any idea about these concepts, especially for free. People would be paying a bunch of money to scammers and people reselling not only his content, but just repackaged garbage. So the dude's not only blessed the community with his knowledge, but he's saved the community from a lot of terrible things. His impact is insane. Let me look at dollar index in here. Yeah, I'm gonna like to believe tomorrow we could see dollar index pop off higher. That's what I'm leaning towards. And so do I feel any type of way about this buy side being taken? Not at all. It means nothing to me. It means to me that this market is really manipulated. I mean, look at where YM's trading. It's made a new low while NQ is making a new high. And ES is in the middle of the range flat. And dollar index is moving higher. So that's, to me, it means nothing. If you feel some type of way about that, I mean, I'm sorry. Do I see where you could have went into this market? Yes, but you're not looking at the variables surrounding it. I'm happy. You should be proud if you stayed out of condition like this. It's a job well done. Yeah, I mean, and if I'm ever questioning like myself or the market in general, I try to refer back to what would ICT be doing? And of course, that's a hard question because he could be doing a lot of things, but I think that he would be doing nothing in these conditions. I also know that because he stated that in our private group today, that he sees that things are very manipulated. And he said, it's artificially manipulated. That's his words. What do I think? What do I think, or who do I think? Of course, it's ICT. I have no doubt in my mind. People ask me, well, what happens if he doesn't win Robbins? What do you think? I don't care. I don't care if he even blew his entire account. I know his concepts work. I mean, New York has been the last 2-3 weeks has just been. It's not been fun. I mean, PM session's been a little bit more fruitful. So I mean, that's why off stream I've traded multiple times with PM session. It's been very nice. I think your name's Black Bear, Black something. I mean, yes, but again, if you're not looking at all of the different variables, you could have easily, again, hindsight is 2020, right? You could look at this and be like, man, that was a perfect 2022 model. But you could have also seen buy stops being taken, dropped lower, and you're trying to go short in here, and you get stopped out. So if you're not looking at all the variables surrounding the idea, I'm disqualifying or qualifying in real time with intermarket relationships, SFT, those type of things. Maybe the Robbins challenges will move in the market. No. Let's look at NQ. I mean, I can't express this in another way. I mean, look at this. YM's moving lower. This is moving higher. And ES is basically in the middle of the range. I don't feel any type of way that price is moving because my system is telling me not to do anything. Central bank dealing range does not apply in indices. FYI. Jeremiah, that's what he said before. This is just fascinating to me to see everything playing out right now. It's crazy. And we're nearing the end of the silver bullet here, so to me, more or less, if I was going to trade today, I'd probably look for PM, if anything. Something I guess I didn't annotate is this candle here. Bullish breaker. Low, high, lower low, higher high. Okay, awesome, man. Good to hear. It's a job well done. Best core content month? I don't think there really is one. There's no videos that are better than one another. There's no model. There's all of it together makes one good recipe. Again, I don't feel any type of way about this moving higher. If anything, you could use the Six Sister approach with ES, where it's lagging behind NQ. But I'd really only trust that if YM really started to pick up and wanted to move higher. It's quite interesting. Somebody just asked about macros. Can I make a video on it? I mean, it moved a little bit before the macro. I mean, macros, again, there's not, even ICT stated, he's not put out even enough information for all of us to really understand the macros and what's going on behind the scenes. All we know is that a 20-minute window at the end of the silver bullet and the beginning of the silver bullet, or before it, those 20-minute windows can induce volatility. They can be a time for when you can look for price to spool towards a draw in liquidity. It's never guaranteed, but it's a phenomenon that you can look for and trade within. If something aligns with it, it's a confluence for me. Okay, man, that's, that comment right there, that makes up for all the trolls and all the negative comments, man. That's, if I can just impact, one or two people's trading, that's all that really matters. Job well done. Very, very proud of you. So what have we done is, again, I don't have this on my screen, but I have multiple monitors, so I have to constantly say that to let other people know. But look at look at the correlation in here. NQ has made a new high, while YM has made a new low, and ES is in the middle of the range. That's a decoupled market. So I'm not upset, I'm not angry, I don't feel any type of emotions, even if price is moving during a decoupled market, because I'm most likely going to get it wrong. And if I traded in it and I got it right, to me that's still a loss, because that's part of my rules to sit still during a decoupled market. And I have no feelings towards price if it's moving in a decoupled market. Doesn't mean my model's flawed, doesn't mean I'm flawed. It means I'm following the rules that ICT has set out for us, and even myself. Like, all the things I say are things that come out of ICT's mouth. So that's, again, it's not me who's saying this. I'm literally just a broken record of what I've learned from him. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, this and Tuesday, if you go back to those sessions and you're able to see what I was doing during those sessions, and I mean, to me, those mean so much more than any winning day. Like, I could have the chat going crazy because we won a trade, but man, I would be celebrating way more in these conditions that I did nothing than winning. It's you have to be able to preserve your capital, protecting it. So number one priority as an analyst is to protect your capital at all costs. Is it lagging? I apologize. Yes, it's poor. Hopefully it clears up here shortly. Just let me know if I ever cut off or something goes wrong. Yeah, let me know. I don't want to talk too much if the stream is buffering. Yeah, Ict and I will give it some time. So if my stream, the health can get a little bit better, I'll start the giveaway, but I'll give it a little bit of time. I hope you guys enjoyed today, man. I mean, I wish somebody else was doing this a while ago when I first started, because it would have saved me a lot of frustration, a lot of money, a lot of blown accounts. It would have saved me a lot. Jeremiah, that's hilarious. I'm gonna stop playing this YouTube video, see if things clear up. Yeah, I mean, if I was to trade today, I'd probably be preferring to trade PM. If anything, I don't do anything with today. Bio, that's awesome to hear. I'm glad. I thought you were gonna say I stayed up because you said so. I lost money. I lost money because I stayed out of the market. Umar, really appreciate that. Awesome to hear. You stick with it, yeah. Can you explain funded futures? Yeah, so with funded futures, there's even this month they're waiving an activation fee. Activation fee, if you need that for certain brokers. Certain brokers are going to charge an activation fee, regardless, even if you're trading with a funded program or not, because you need data. They need certain things that their platform requires. So with them, with funded futures, Myfunded Futures, they're waiving the activation fee this month, so you don't have to pay 150. The reset fee is if you fail the account, and it's a monthly charge. So let's say you pay $100 for the 50K account. I actually believe it's 90, and you fail that. Well, then you can reset, so you don't have to wait an entire month for that account to recharge itself. So if you, let's say you buy an account today, you fail it, you can reset it for a discounted price than what the monthly fee is. That way you can try again, and if you end up passing it, then you don't have a monthly payment anymore, and you also don't have an activation fee on top of it. So that's how it works. It's good, Emmanuel. Why is there a monthly payment? Because it's futures is different. It's a different type of platform. It's a different type of then, like, if you're looking at the lens through like a forex or indices platform, it's completely different metrics and things that they have. I mean, every single futures platform has a monthly payment until you pass the program. But I mean, if you look at it, it's a lot. The monthly payment is a lot cheaper than any forex or indices payment. So again, you take it or leave it. If you don't like the futures program, then you don't go with them. What's the giveaway? What's free then? You're getting a free account you don't have to pay the monthly fee. So let's say a 100K account, you don't have to pay $200 to register. You're getting that for free. If you fail it, then you would have to either reset it or you don't trade it anymore. Correct, ICT. Sounds like I'll keep paying every month. Well, if you pass the account before your monthly payment's up, then you don't pay the monthly payment. All right, I'm going to do this giveaway because some questions are getting, to be honest, a little too much. Yeah, all right, I'm going to do this giveaway. I'm going to log off the internet for today. That's enough internet for me. All right. Again, with this giveaway, there's going to be no double reentries. You can't place a word multiple times. I saw those people do this yesterday. If you do, you're going to be disqualified from the actual giveaway. So that's part of this. FEG, if you're still in here, remind me what yesterday. I know you said at the beginning of the stream what I did. Yeah, Chris, thank you. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, giving away a free account, people are still upset. It makes no sense. Emmanuel, you're gonna have to go back to the live stream and watch it. Yeah, put the keyboard. Okay, cool. I got you. Okay. And make sure when I do type this word out that it is, I'm going to do it in all lowercase because that happened yesterday with one letter was uppercase. So give me a second. I'm thinking of the word real quick in here. Yeah. It's not enter me. It's not enter me. I haven't typed anything. Jeez almighty, man. Some people just don't listen. Jeez. All right, I'm gonna type out the word right now. Why are we typing enter me? Okay. So the word is going to be panel, all lowercase panel. Again, you can't type it multiple times. You cannot type it multiple times. So it's only one entry, one word. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes for probably the entire chat. But remember, you cannot do it multiple times. Sorry, Justin. There you go. So once it slows down here, I will do the roll of the dice. Remember, it's only one entry, one time you can do it. Otherwise, you're going to be disqualified from it. Again, in order to be eligible, I'm going to verify that you guys are subscribed to me. You've liked the video. So If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and you like the video, because I'm going to verify that. So I'll give it 30 seconds or so, and I will roll the dice. So it looks like we're slowing down here, which is good. Yes, ICT, that does not surprise me. All right, so it looks like it slowed down. I'm going to give it 15 more seconds. I'll do a countdown at 5 seconds. Remember, it cannot be, the P is not capital, Leonardo, our trader. Okay, 10 more seconds. It looks like there's a couple other people. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Jack Shackelford. Thank you, Nightbot. It's pretty cool. So, Jack Shackelford, can you type in the chat? Congratulations. If I don't see that person in here in the next minute, then I will go ahead and roll it again. So, this is Jack Shackelford in here. Jack hit the road. Be nice. I'm going to give him a little bit of time. I mean, I know how all you'd feel, vice versa, if you won and somebody just moved on very quickly. So, maybe a way, I don't know. So, I'm going to give it to at least New York Standard Time. I'm going to give it to 10:15. If he doesn't answer, then I'm going to have to roll it again. Is he here? Oh, there he is. What's going on, Jack Shackelford? All right. Awesome. Here's the steps for you, Mr. Jack. If you have Twitter, which I hope you do, I'm going to put the link to my Twitter in this chat. What you're going to have to do is just follow me and message underneath the most recent post. That way I can follow you back and I'll message you. And then I'll tell you the next steps from here. Okay? Does that make sense, Mr. Jack? So I'm going to link my Twitter in the chat. If you already follow me, just comment underneath my most recent post. Hopefully it's the same name, and that way I'm going to verify as well that you're the real person. That way nobody fakes your profile. So, amazing, awesome. I see you comment a bunch of times. Yep. So hopefully it makes sense, Jack. And I won't leave the stream until I see that you message me on Twitter. That way everything is still here. Little Wazy, what up, brother? Good to see you in here. I don't know. Look, I mean, it is hilarious to watch live streaming on the internet, man. It boggles my mind with some people. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream. Hope you guys were able to learn something for those who were diligently listening and taking notes and listening to what I was saying. To me, it's such a good learning lesson. I can't express enough how today is such a good learning opportunity. I mean, if you were trading either any of these three crosses in here, I think it would have been extremely difficult for you to get something right in here. I think the best thing you could have done is sit and still and do nothing, which I showed you all how to do and what the criteria is to not do anything. Jack, I'm going to link it again in the chat. Here it is. So hopefully you see that. Just click on that real quick. MS, awesome. I'd love to hear that. Yep. So Jack, I'm not going to leave the live stream until you're on. It's so funny how many people leave after the giveaway. So if you're one of these that sits, through these live streams and you're learning, I mean, you're doing a good job, man. At least what I would say. All right, so Link, take care. I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, it's going to be basically the end of the live stream, so I don't care if people leave. I'm not going to do anything more. Appreciate you, Chris. Thank you. So Jack, let me know. Just comment underneath my most recent post, and hopefully it's the same name. That way I can see you. I'm not going to leave you hanging though. Okay, I see you just commented at me. BA Invest, that's me. Okay, let me see. Let's see if I can find you in here. If you could comment, Jack, that way I can find you a little bit easier. I have some people following me. Just you could type anything underneath my most recent post, and I'll find you. Thank you guys for showing up. I do appreciate all the support. You guys are awesome. All right, Jack, I found you. Thank you, man. I truly do appreciate all the good comments and the people that are not, I hate to say this, that are not stupid. Because, I mean, that giveaway right there with the comments I just saw was unbelievable. that was insane. Not following directions, not understanding what to do. I mean, it's crazy. So I do appreciate the ones that are critical thinkers in here and actually thinking smartly. So, Jack, I got you in here. I'm going to give you a follow. I'm going to message you, and then we'll go through the next steps. So I appreciate everybody tuning in to the live stream today. Tomorrow, we're going to do another giveaway, 150K account. So